We're going to take a look at a really fun Stevie Wonder tune. This is, of course, from Songs in the Key of Life, 1976. And this song was really never on my radar until relatively recently when I was performing it at a service that I was at, and they said, "Hey, could you maybe back this up instead of us doing it to a karaoke track?" And I listened to it and I thought, sure, let's see how it works out. So I did this with Sarah and Ben, a couple of relatives. They were cousins to each other, I guess, not to me. And I just had so much fun putting it together with some really cool jazzy chords, some percussive playing in here. And so the whole acoustic guitar approach to this is a lot lighter than Stevie's approach. I mean, on the album, it really gets pretty rocking by the end. Goes on for 6 or 7 minutes with just going through the main little vamp of the chorus. So we'll talk about that part. We'll talk about the bridge. And then back. So basically 3 parts. There's a verse, a chorus. The chorus is really just a 2-measure phrase done over and over. The verse it's in a not too guitar friendly key, which means a lot of bar chords and chord shapes up and down the neck. But what we're mostly going to talk about in here is a little bit of the percussive playing. Trying to get some clicks one way or another on beats 2 and 4, either just by putting your fingers on the strings like this. And what I'm doing there is just putting my hand back on the strings, ready to grab the notes. Part of the click there is heard by my thumb hitting the 6th string into the fretboard. So we're hearing that's part of the click. Sometimes it's just a matter of even brushing down across dead strings. Like there, I'm grabbing a B major 7 chord, and then just strumming across. Strumming across the strings with my fingernails. So. First, we'll talk about the chords, and if you're pretty familiar with bar chords out of out of both families, the A and the E family, we're not going to really use anything else. And then we'll talk about this particular rhythm. And the little jump that's happening in there right on the first beat. So anyway, we're breaking all that down as I take a look at As by Stevie Wonder. So we're going to start with chords out of the A family of bars, and in the cases of many of them, I'm not going to play them with a full bar because I'm usually only going to play 4 strings down here. So what I've got going here is A major 7 is played like this, basically like A major would have 3 notes at the 2nd fret. We make it major 7 by changing the A on the 3rd string to G sharp. So we've got a little shape here, kind of like a D7 chord on different strings. And to make a bar out of that, if I wanted to play B major 7, I would just bar it at the 2nd and then have that same shape here. And then with my right hand, though, I'm just going to grab mostly those 4 strings, which means I don't really need the bar here. I can save the wear and tear on my left hand by just playing the 5th string with the tip of my finger. And that's what I'm going to do for a lot of the major 7 chords that are coming up in this song. If I needed to play a 7th chord, I would need the bar or a partial bar, which we'll get to in just a second. And that would be, instead of having the major 7th here, it would be in the bar. So this would be the 7th shape for the A family of chords. This would be B7. So what I do in this is we do have a B major 7 that goes to B7 for a very short, just a half a measure. And the way I make that change is by turning my first finger into a hinge bar, flattening it out, just to get that one note. Now, there would be nothing wrong with doing this as a full bar, and then just taking off your middle finger to get to the chord being a 7th. But I kind of like the idea that, it saves the wear and tear because we've got a lot of bars coming up, is what I'm getting at here. So there's my 2 B chords, B major 7 and B7. and then it's going to go to E major 7 just by taking this same shape up to the 7th fret. And with E7, I'm never going to make a full bar with this because the open E string is okay on it, as is the E in the bass. So when I move this up to the 7th fret to be an E7, I really can hit all 6 strings, and we'll be doing that when we talk about the percussion in here in the next segment. So that is the main couple chords we're going to see, major 7s there. And then in the second half, or the second line, the second 2 measures of the verse, it's going to go, the B major 7 is going to go to A major 7. Now we could get that by just dropping down and playing it open. Nothing wrong with that. What I kind of like to do for some voice leading here is this second B major 7 that goes to A major 7, I like to bring in the high F sharp up here and make a full bar, and then play my A major 7 with the G sharp on top.